All right, thanks everyone for being here tonight. My name is Brian Wyman. I'm the editor of the Carolina Review. This is Nash Q, my co-editor, and Anthony Dent, my associate editor. We just want to thank y'all for being here. Thank our distinguished guests for being here. We are discussing the morality of government intervention in free market proceedings. A conversation that is often left out of typical policy discussions today. I'm sure it will be an interesting discussion. I want to take this brief time to just present to you our new issue. It did come out today. We encourage all of you to pick up a copy in the back of the room on your way out. Without any further proceedings, I'll hand it over to Anthony to introduce our topic and our guests.
Well, good evening, everyone. Our topic this evening is the statement, government intervention in the free market is moral. And we have Professor Byrns, professor in the UNC Economics Department, who will be speaking to the affirmative, and Professor Lewis, who's a professor at Duke University, I will concede, but he's also an adjunct professor at UNC, so we can forgive him for the moment. And he will be arguing the negative of that statement. So just to give you a general idea of the format, we're going to have 7-minute opening statements. We decided we'll be lenient on the time, but if it goes over, just because we're here to hear their responses. So I think we should talk less, we should talk more. It makes more sense. And then when we go into the question period, whomever we ask a question will have 3 minutes to respond. The other will have 2-minute rebuttals, and there will be 3-minute closing statements from each participant. And then we'll hopefully have around 15 minutes for questions from you all for each of our participants. So hopefully that will all work out. And again, thank you for being here. Oh, I'm sorry. And Professor Byrns will be opening.
Okay, thank you. I'll start off by talking a little bit about how uncertain I am about things. Robert Solow, who's won the Nobel Prize in Economics, once made the comment that he wished that he were certain about anything, as Milton Friedman seemed to be about everything. And that's kind of where I sit. I'm kind of skeptical about all sorts of propositions, particularly absolutist statements such as governmental intervention in the economy is immoral. Let's start by talking about what government does and what the absence of government might portend. One of the problems that we might have here would be defining what we mean by the economy, because I think of the economy as all-inclusive, and it covers every decision that human beings make. When I married my wife, I think of that as an economic decision. Okay, when I decided to chase my wife, that was an economic decision. I do things the best I know how. I married my wife because I didn't expect that I could do any better. I know that she married me for the same reason. And we managed to get along very nicely. Thank you for the last 43 years as a consequence of that kind of an arrangement. Now, there are some logical pieces that I find interesting about objectivism, and there's an absolutism, I think, in objectivism that I find problematic. Okay, specifically, when it comes to definitions, I've talked to objectivists for about 42 years now, and I find myself sort of mystified. So I'm just going to put out a question, and then I'm going to sort of push it because I know what a certain amount of conditioning will have caused people, how a certain amount of conditioning will have caused people to answer. And the specific question has to do with what is freedom. And I want to differentiate between freedom and liberty for just a moment, because I think liberty might very well mean what objectivists seem to mean when they say something about freedom. Liberty to me means an absence of coercion from some central authority or what have you to proceed across some course of action. Now, what kind of a society do we want? To me, I'm kind of a libertarian. Okay, I'm a left-wing libertarian, but I believe strongly in freedom. But I define freedom in the following fashion. I think that freedom means that you have a huge range of choices, and I think that a proper objective of a society is to maximize the choices that are available to people. So I'm going to define freedom that way. My understanding is that objectivists have a tendency to define freedom far more narrowly as the absence of coercion. So I'm going to just raise some questions about whether or not it is possible to have an absence of coercion in a meaningful fashion. I indicated previously that I've admired this man since I first met him, and that I would like to associate with him in a way that he might find problematic. I would like to be as close to him as would be a conjoined twin. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that I want to follow him everywhere. If he wants to go to the bathroom, I want to be there. I want to find out what's going on in his life. I can learn all kinds of things. Okay. I think that he might have a problem with that, because my freedom to be close to him interferes hugely, I think, with his rights to privacy and all sorts of other things. Okay, so what we have is a problem that is very akin to the problem associated with externalities. Externalities are bilateral. If I decided to smoke here, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. Well, you all might get to smoke simultaneously. But if you insisted that I not smoke, then you are coercing me. You are preventing me from being able to smoke. We have competitive use of the environment. You don't want me to smoke, and I do want to smoke. I want to use the environment one way, you want to use the environment the other way. This gets into definitions of property rights in a serious way. Now, I read one of John's pieces, parts of it. And what I read there was that we are endowed by our Creator with what? No, throw all that out, because objectivists don't believe in such stuff, creators or what have you.